Hi guys, it's Beth. Welcome to my channel, Bourbon Creek Crafts. Today I get to share with you what I made for the Smash Our Stash 2021 collaboration, where each month we focus on using a specific product or a theme to work through our stash. This month the prompt was sequins, and I realized sequins are not something that I have ever bought myself, but I have ended up with not a huge stash, but a pretty good stash of sequins, just because they come in like kits. I inherited some from my mother-in-law. They may have come in like, little bundles that I bought. And so yeah, I did have quite a few sequins, and I kind of stretched my brain to come up with some different ways to use them. So I decided to make some like shaker embellishments. For my Smash That Small Pad collaboration this month, I'm working on the It's Your Birthday, and I have some scrapbook pages in mind that I knew I wanted to do with that. And so I took some of that paper and created some little like birthday button type embellishments that have like shakers in them. And I got that idea because of one of the little cut aparts in here, if I can find it quickly. Probably won't, was like one of those little birthday buttons with with the little ribbons on the bottom. And so I thought that here it is. I kind of saw that and I thought, oh, that would be perfect. I could turn that into a shaker fairly easily. I also had some of these like shaker, they're like the little shaker cups. It looks like a little bitty bowl, and you can turn it upside down, and then it's the cover of the shaker. And I had bought those on clearance, maybe at scrapbook.com at one point, or no, I think it was My Favorite Things, and I have not used them. Like, I'm not a big shaker element maker. I'm not a big sequin user. A lot of times I will use them like in place of enamel dots on some scrapbook pages, but otherwise I don't use them a whole lot. And so I did finally use some of those little shaker covers and created these two little embellishments. And then I also made some like Polaroid style embellishments, and I had a stamp set that coordinated it with the pad. It's also an Echo Park stamp set. And so I just stamped and celebrate your birthday with cake, and you can't really see the word cake unless you move the sequins around. And then just used foam tape on this one to create my shaker frame. And I only used one level of foam. I don't love a whole lot of thick dimension, especially on my scrapbook pages. Just like I do use dimensional embellishments, but if they're too thick, they just kind of make the pages look wonky once they're in the album, they've been in the album for a while. So I did make two of these because if you follow my channel, you know I always make at least two sets of every scrapbook page, one for me and one for my daughter's album. Sometimes there's three sets because I have two daughters. So just took some of the pattern paper to use as my frame. I took a cut apart and cut out like these little paper fans and just use that as an embellishment at the bottom. I can always come in and add some type of sentiment strip if I want to. And then this hooray was just another little cut apart that I punched out the hooray from. So got a couple of embellishments done for my small pad later this month. And then I decided I wanted to do some scrapbook pages, and because that's one of my crafty goals, is to get through years 2013 and 14 in my photos, get them in albums. So I had originally thought that I would take sequins and spell out Avery's name. Well, after doing I was like, oh, this is like tedious. And so I just decided to use her initials, AJ. And then I thought, well, since I used initials there, I would also use an abbreviation for cutie, so QT, so AJ QT. It made sense to me. My husband kind of stared at that. He's like, AJ QT, what the heck? So I did make note in my journaling about Avery being a QT. And so I went a little overboard on the sequins. I used some flower sequins throughout the layout, and then I layered them with some more sequins. There's like just some individual sequins here. Here's another layered sequin. And then of course I have the sequin letters up here. And I did make 2 of those. And then I did some other layouts, and these just used sequins just as I would normally use sequins. Just kind of added them throughout my page just as accents to bring in some extra shine and pops of color. And same on this one, I had some bigger ones that I used. And then same on this last one. There was a lot of color going on this page, and so I was able to use a bunch of different colors. So I felt like I didn't really make a dent in my sequin stash. And so I was like, how else can I use some sequins? So I took some strips of white cardstock, and I was thinking about the recital outfits that my daughters have worn in the past, and like the way the sequins are kind of all sewn on, and I'm like, I could make like a sequin strip, and then I could always use it somehow like just as, you know, an embellishment, a layer on a scrapbook page or something. And I could always like cut a shaped like border edge if I wanted to, like scalloped, or I could tear it on both sides and kind of make it a little more rugged. But I thought that it would just be fun. And so I just found some embroidery floss in my stash that matched the color of most of these sequins. And these were sequins left in a little pack from one of my Scrapping for Less card kits. And so they were all coordinating. And so I just did a back stitch basically, where I would come up through one sequin, go down through another sequin. So I went up, went down, and then went back and came up through that first sequin, and it kind of kept them going. And then I also did kind of a back stitch on the edges just to make sure that they stayed down. So I did 2 of those, and that did finish off like one of these packs. So I managed to go through 2 packs of the sequins that I had left from Scrapping for Less kits, and there are a bunch more. And I also did manage to finish off this little tube. I don't know, my mother-in-law gave it to me, so I don't know where it originally came from or what brand it was, but so I did use up some sequins, but I feel like I didn't make a very big dent. But that's how I used some sequins. Oh, here I also used one as the center of the flower. And somewhere I had where I took some punched flowers and made the center of the flowers with sequins. So that's just another idea. But hopefully you guys got some ideas on how to use sequins just from my ideas. And if you want more ideas on how to use up sequins, please check the list of participants in the collaboration down below. It is always, I have gotten so many great ideas from this collab on how to use up some of the things in my stash. So I'm sure they have more awesome ideas on using sequins on projects as well. So please be sure to check them out. And thank you guys so much for your time. I hope you all have a very crafty day.